Hey guys, my name is Josh. You might know me as Mad Charcoal. Today I'm going to be going to the dollar store, or a dollar store that I could find, see if they have any art materials and see what it's like. I'm going to try drawing with it. It might be a disaster, it might be cool. I don't know. Let's see what we can find. I don't even know if they have charcoal there, so we'll find something super cheap and see if that makes a difference in art and what we can make. I just drew this one right here with some expensive stuff, but I think it's gonna go well. I think if we do find the right material, even if it's cheap, I think we can make something cool out of it. Well, let's find out. All right, guys. So we are here at the Dollar General. Sorry, I have a manual focus camera. It'll be tough, but let's see what they have. Hello, excuse me. Do you guys have drawing materials here?
Drawing materials,
or
yes,
art
we
materials?
Do. It'll be in aisle 8, I believe.
8?
Yes.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. She said aisle 8. I'm not seeing much drawing materials yet. Some good shampoo. I might need some of that actually. Okay, so clearly she led me astray. It was aisle 7. Just kidding. But let's see if we can find anything worth using here, or something that I usually use. I haven't been in a dollar store in a while, and I guess like they do different prices now, obviously because of inflation probably, but like this is $6. It's not $1, but it's still really cheap. Okay, so we have a pencil sketch set here. We got graphite and charcoal. These charcoal sticks here, cool. That'll be perfect. We can totally use this. It comes with a sharpener eraser, I'm thinking that's a kneaded eraser, and a blending stump. These individual sheets of paper, like kind of like cardstock paper, but it's way too waxy. So I found this cool 12 by 18, which is a good size sketch pad. The paper is a little lightweight, but I like the material, and it's a little like bluish purple. I don't know if you could tell through the camera, but it's a weird color. But I usually prefer warmer, not cooler paper, but we could totally use this. This will work. I also found this 9 by 12 watercolor sheet, or pad. It's way more textured. It's really nice though. I'm gonna try both of these. It's just really textured. It's probably too textured, but I like the weight and color of it. I'm really surprised we found all these things. It's exactly what we need. Now let's go home and, well, first we gotta buy them, then we'll test them out. Okay, so the total was $17.38, which is pretty cheap, I think, for everything you need to make a cool drawing. All right, guys, let's go through what we've got. Let me focus this in real quick. Okay, we got the sketch set with the charcoal and the graphite, but I'm just really interested in that charcoal. Let me see if I can get this thing out. These are so cool. I'm actually really excited about these. There's a 2B, a 4B, and a 6B. So the softness levels, they feel really high quality actually. I'm excited to try them out. So we also have this kneaded eraser. I think it's kneaded eraser. It feels a little stickier than a normal one. Maybe not. And it's blue. I've never seen a blue one before, so. Okay. It's a little bit, I hope I was supposed to break it. Yeah, it's a kneaded eraser, I think. It's a little bit stiff, but I think it'll work. I think it'll work for what we need it for. Yeah. Now we have our drawing paper. It feels like newsprint. It's sketch paper, to be fair, and it's a little cool on the cool side in terms of temperature, the color of it. It's a little bluish, but I think it'll work. I would say it's better to get like a cheaper drawing pad, or like a thicker paper, like a heavier weight paper drawing pad, like at Walmart or something. Even if it'll be nicer than this. But for now, I'll follow through with what I promised. We're going to make the drawing on all the materials that we got at the dollar store. I almost forgot to mention the tortillon, or blending stump. I guess it's a tortillon because it's rolled up like this and it doesn't have it on the other end. But this is going to be utilized as well. Everything else in the kit I don't really care for at the moment. I think this is all we really need. Oh, wow, I can't get over how cool colored this paper is. It's so blue, but it'll work. It's not supposed to be colored, but it looks kind of colored. I'm gonna start off with this. It's like there's no tip. It's not a pencil. It has no wood. It's just charcoal in here, wrapped in this plastic, and I love this. I've seen this in graphite, but I haven't seen it in charcoal very common. Let's just go after, this is a 4B here, so I'm gonna start sketching. I pulled up my reference on, interesting. I pulled up my reference on my iPad here next to my easel. This feels kind of cool. Let's try blending a little bit. Oops, there's so much charcoal on the bottom of my my easel that I just put my tortillon in there and it just covered it in charcoal. So bad. I'm so sorry. That was not supposed to happen. Okay, that's kind of cool. Let me set it somewhere where let's test out this kneaded eraser. Oh yeah, that'll work for sure. All right, now let's get into the drawing, the actual drawing. Let me get that into focus here. Okay, cool. I'm sketching. This is really cool to sketch with. It's like a never-ending pencil almost. Honestly, this feels like normal sketch paper. It doesn't feel all too cheap. It doesn't feel all too different from the expensive stuff. It doesn't feel like final drawing paper at all, but it definitely feels like normal quality sketch paper. I wouldn't sell a finished drawing on this paper by any means, but we might make something cool. I would totally work on my actual finished drawings with one of these charcoal pencils though. This thing is awesome. Just trying to lay down some tones and a little bit of a sketch and outline here, along with some values, and squinting as I do it so I don't lose sight of the drawing as a whole. I don't get caught up in the details so quickly. We don't want to do that. If you guys want the reference I'm working with, then I'll put the link in the description here. Let me get it a little bit better into focus. I promise I'll buy a autofocus lens soon. I don't want to just keep recording with my phone, even though it does autofocus. I like the quality of this 35mm Sony camera. So it's just an experiment. This is feeling cool. Let's dirty this thing up a little bit with my hands. There we go. Get some values here. Blending all this charcoal around, making it nice and universal, less grainy. Let's give it a little more smooth tones in here. The grain isn't good when it's sitting by itself with all those light colors underneath it, you know? When you get the grain of the paper with the charcoal, you want some smoothness underneath it. And then you could leave all your grain in there without blending what you put on top of it. Sometimes. Depends also what style you're going for, so. We do have a frontal light source, so this will be lit up, more so than the tip of the nose and here, more so than any other part of the drawing. Looks like it dissipates towards the bottom of the face a little bit. You know what, I don't even see a need for the other softness of the graphite pencils, but I will try, let's try the 2B a little bit, the lighter one. Feels the same. Maybe a little bit harder. Maybe it is a little bit harder the way it's supposed to be. The hardness scale works like this. So you have a harder material, which is 2B, or H, you go into H's and the low B's. That tends to be a harder material, which means that if you're picturing a rock, if you draw with a rock that's super hard and super, it's not soft at all, it's harder to mark and make with it because less of it will be released onto the paper. If you have something that's higher, like in the higher B's, like a 6B or 8B or 4B, then it'll be softer material, which means more of it will come off when you actually touch the page with it. So it's going to get darker quicker, if that makes sense. I don't know if I did a good job of explaining that. So pretty much this 2B is going to be the hardest material I'm working with. So it's going to be the lightest. Hardest equals lightest in art. So if you pick up that pencil, a graphite pencil even, it works the same way. You're working with a 2H, you can only get so dark with that. You might dent your paper before you get a dark picture or a dark color, because it's a very hard material. And with a soft material like a 6B, if you're working with like a 6B pencil, you're gonna get a real dark image, barely touching the paper. What I like to do is actually just use a really dark, soft piece like this 6B right here. Let's see if it actually changes. Oh, it does. This is very nice. See, I usually make my entire drawing, the entire thing, with more soft charcoals. No, I don't really go into those hard charcoals or hard materials. I just prefer to control it. So I could be really gentle and really light with this material I'm working with right here, or I could push hard and get something dark really quickly. It's all about the weight of my hand or my wrist and my shoulder onto the page. It's not so much about about the material I'm working with, relying on it, you know? I'm not relying on it to be light. I'm controlling it so that it's light. More so than the material itself, because the material could get very dark. I'm using the side of it like this so that I can get like cover a lot more space, because I don't like to draw with the tip of a pencil. I don't think it's very useful. I guess unless you're like a color pencilist or something like that. I'm assuming. Now I'm just trying to find these values that will help this thing come together. You know, I like these materials. This paper isn't doing bad either. It's got a little bit of texture to it. I'm thinking it's like a 40-pound paper, like a very, very light GSM. Let me see what it says. No, it doesn't even say. It just says 12 by 18. It's a 12 by 18 paper, in case you were wondering. But it doesn't say the weight or the GSM of the paper. If I were to guess though, I'd say it's about 40. Maybe less. Now we can work on the details a little bit more, because we have most of our values pretty established. It's actually a little too dark, so I'm going to come back in with this kneaded eraser now. This bright blue kneaded eraser that doesn't really need, but it might work still. Might be exactly what we need. Just kidding. Don't laugh at that. It's not funny. Let's see. Oh, that's nice. I like this kneaded eraser too. You know what? I might even just, I'm just gonna drop everything and drop my sponsorships with whatever art brands I have sponsorships with, and just gonna start shopping at the Dollar General, the Family Dollar. I think it was Family Dollar. I don't remember what it was, for art supplies. It's a nice texture. It's a very nice texture. Let's see if we can focus in a little bit on the closer part of the face. This is really weird. It's not a very high depth of field on this lens, so apologies if you guys are struggling to see this. Some light hitting the eyelids right here. I'm going to pull that. Pull the light hitting here. Maybe pulled it a little too much there. So blend it back in. This highlight as well. There we go. I like this effect. I like this. This is going well. I guess you don't need expensive materials to make a successful drawing, which I think I've made tons of videos about. Or not expensive, but I mean like you don't need too many materials, I guess, too. Because this stuff was very cheap. All the essentials, $6. And the paper. I mean, I got watercolor paper just in case this paper didn't work, but this paper is working fine. I just wouldn't sell anything on this. The watercolor paper looked way too textured to make like anything detailed, so I stayed away from it for now. Maybe I'll bring it back another time, but so I think I spent maybe not even $9 for all this, which is a good $9 USD, which is a good price for making having enough stuff to make some cool art. It's all about practice, you know? It's not just about the materials you use. The majority of the things that I get asked is, what do you use? How do you do that? What materials, what charcoals do you use? Which blending stump do you use? I'm like, dude, I don't even know sometimes, you know? Like, I grab it from my charcoal box. Yeah, it doesn't have labels on it anymore. It's all about what you learn and how you can utilize the material that you're given or you have or end up with, you know? It's about you learning how to draw. Let's give it a nice little tone. Not too hard, you're gonna lose all those details. A nice little washed out tone. We'll come out here with the collar a little bit and the side of that. Get to the hair on the side of the face. It's okay. We'll just leave it kind of guessing out here. It's okay. We don't do as many details in the shadows because the eye doesn't wander to the shadows. The eye wanders to the light. So that's where we want all our details to lie, so that it's harmonious for the viewer. Keep that in mind. Most drawings work that way. Most art works that way. Keep all the great value changes and the details all in the foreground, in the light, wherever the focal point of the drawing is. There we go. So that's what I can make with some dollar store materials. Yeah, that stuff is awesome. I love it. I mean, I'm sure you're not going to find the exact same materials that I just bought at your local dollar store, but if you don't, try it. You know, try some charcoal, try some graphite if they only have graphite. I'm really happy that I found charcoal there, and the sketch paper worked great. It's just a little bit bluish, which is not my style, but it looks cool. I think it looks fine. So just stick to the principles of what you work with and your skill set, and draw with whatever you have, because dollar store materials are awesome. So that's it. Check out madcharcoal.com/shop if you guys want to buy my work or my art, the actual art materials I work with. Pretty expensive, not too cheap. And merch will be coming soon, and as well as there's a drawing course, charcoal drawing basics course. I go over the materials I use, the steps in which I draw, and the skills that you can build on to be better artists or to start drawing with charcoal. All that is at the link in my bio or madcharcoal.com/shop. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next one.